people, top of the day. Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Today is the last day of work for some of y'all this week. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right, y'all. I'm running a few minutes behind Trina. Hey, girl, hey. So we're going to go ahead and get started. It is Wednesday, November the 27th, 2019, day 4 of year 2 of reading through the Bible, the Old Testament. Today we're reading Genesis 10, 11, and 12, the Tower of Babel. So let's get started, y'all. All right. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were born sons after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarmah. These names, y'all, if you ever pay attention, once you start getting into the books of the prophets, especially the book of Ezekiel, you'll hear these names again. Magog and Togarmah. And just remember, they are descendants of Japheth. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families and their nations. The sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. Remember, those are the names that we see in the area of Ethiopia or... Yeah, did you watch the video, Trina? Is that what you're talking about? The one about the blood sacrifices? Yeah, I actually uploaded the video. I did. I'm not sure if you saw it. You probably missed it. But shortly after that, I was just waiting for it to download. So once I actually got it to download, I actually uploaded. So if you go back, you will see a video there. Just go back to the feed, and you'll see it. You'll see it because you'll see a video uploaded with two Caucasian faces. That's the video, and it's up there. But yeah, he answered it really good. The video is it's 11 minutes long. It's my question first, and then he takes the next 10 minutes to answer the question and give you scripture and a little bit of history of what happened and why the sacrifices were going and how Yahuwah was stopping them. Okay, so, but I caught that. I really liked his answer, because there's some of the things that I had also found, but I wasn't too sure. He obviously knows a lot more than I do, so that's why I figured, let me just ask this question to see what they say, see if I got anything more than what I had already found out already. So, but yes, he did. The video was there, Trina. Okay, verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan, and the sons of Cush, Sheba, Havilah, Sabbathah, and Ramah, and Sabbathah, and the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahuwah. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, and the land of Shinar. And out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh, and the city of Rehoboth, and Calah. And Rezin between Nineveh and Calah, the same is a great city. And Mizraim, remember, Mizraim is also, we know it to be Egypt. Hey, Ananita. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lahabim, and Naphtuhim, and Pathrusim, and Kazulim, out of whom came Philistim, and Caphtorim. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Shemrite, and the Hamathite, and afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou comest to Gerar unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Admah, and Zeboim, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations. Unto Shem also was the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder. Even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, and Asher, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gather, and Mash. And Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber. And unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almadad, and Shelef, and Harzamaveth, and Jereth, and Hadaram, and Uzal, and Diklah, and Obal, and Abamel, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab, and all these were the sons of Joktan. And their dwelling was from Mesha, as thou goest unto Sephar, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem after their families, after their tongues, in their lands, after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in their nations. And by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. So everybody living on the earth today are descendants of Noah, of one of his three sons. And granted, Noah, everybody descends from Adam and Eve, if you look at it. Noah descended from those who were taken away in the flood or had died before the flood, which they eventually came from Adam and Eve. So, the arguments that could ensue with just that, it's... All right, chapter 11. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and dwelt there. And they said to one another, Go, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. And they said, Go, let us build a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered upon the face of the whole earth. And Yahuwah came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built. And Yahuwah said, Behold, the people are one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Remember we was talking at the beginning where it said, let us. Remember there were also angels present. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So Yahuwah scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Yahuwah did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did Yahuwah scatter them abroad the face of the whole earth. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500... Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, I was thinking about something I thought I had. All right. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 530 years and begat Selah. And Arphaxad lived after he begat Selah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 34 years and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he had begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. This is probably doesn't need to be said, but and this is done in most places where they give the genealogy. They're although they had multiple children through the generations, they're pulling out the names of the ones where the blessing kind of goes down. Not like the only blessing, but the line of King David. That's where it's going. So although there were Noah had other children, it will continue to follow the line of Shem, because came to Noah, then to Shem, although he had two other sons. Then it just kind of passes down with the one that let's say the scepter passes down to, so to speak. We also know that Shem also is Melchizedek. We're going to read that. For some reason, I've seen a lot of churches are correcting that now. They do realize that it said that Shem is Melchizedek, but it's you get whole different teachings about that right there. But we clearly know that Shem is Abraham's, his great-grandfather? But anyway, great-grandfather Abraham comes down. That's how the scepter comes down to Abraham. And Abraham walked up right before Yahuwah, and, he became his friend. So, but just, if you didn't know, that's how the genealogies go. It's pulling out the person where the scepter is passed down through, so to speak, or the blessing. If you don't want to use the word scepter, that could be a bad word, so don't beat me up too bad on the word because I said scepter. But eventually it is going to become a scepter, okay? Because those are the ones that he's going to choose to teach who he truly is to the other nations. And that was the whole thing. Yahuwah wants a people for himself who will teach others, because everybody's not willing to just listen to Yahuwah. They much rather be taught by other people. But that's also a part of the new covenant. He said the new covenant, he's going to take his laws, his statutes and commands, and he's going to write it this time on the heart. He said, I'm not going to do it like I did it for your ancestors where I wrote it down on tablets for them. But this time, I'm going to write those same laws, statutes, and commands on your hearts. I'm going to write them on your hearts. And then you will obey them, and you will become my people, and I will be your God. And you will need no man to teach you anything, for every man will know me, from the least to the greatest, and I myself will teach them. What a beautiful promise. But somehow that promise kind of gets misconstrued. They tell you half of it, and then they add something else. So I'm like, that's not what the new covenant is. That is not what Yahuwah said the new covenant is. That's why I say you really must be mindful of what you're reading, who said what. Make sure it hasn't been taken out of context, and make sure they ain't added to or taken away from Yahuwah's words, because we see a lot of that. Yahuwah specifically talks about that in Deuteronomy with the law about those adding to and taking away. We don't just read that for the first time in Revelation. Yahuwah tells them that all the way here back in the beginning. He said, do not add to nor take away my words, lest the curses from this covenant. What covenant? What he just gave them in Deuteronomy would come upon them, and their portion would be taken away. But somehow I know because I did it for years, because I didn't know that it originated back here. I was like, oh, it's the curses here that we see in Revelation and stuff. No. I was completely wrong. I had been taught that, and I was reading it wrong. I was reading with the understanding of what I had been taught from teachers who were teaching me wrong, who themselves hadn't gone back and studied what Yahuwah had originally said in the Old Testament text. So so people still argue down on that, and that's okay. That's fine. They just haven't gotten that point to where they actually want to hear the words of Yahuwah themselves. They much rather, I get it. I was there, but that's what I'm saying. Go back and see what Yahuwah actually said. Make sure we ain't getting it wrong. All right. Verse 17. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Ru. And Peleg lived after he begat Ru 209 years and begat sons and daughters. Turn it down, Isaiah. And Ru lived 230 years and begat Serug. And Ru lived after he begat Serug 207 years and begat sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor. And Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 920 years and begat Terah. And Nahor lived 920 years and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abraham and Nahor took them wives, and the name of Abraham's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, and the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren; she had no child. And Terah took Abraham his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's sons, and Sarai's daughter-in-law, and his son Abraham's. Hold on, I just screwed that all up. Hold on, I'll read 31 again. And Terah took Abraham his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abraham's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Last chapter for the day, y'all. Genesis chapter 12. Now Yahuwah had said unto Abraham, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed, and Yahuwah had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him, and Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth into the land of Canaan, and to the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. And Yahuwah appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto Yahuwah, who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Hanan on the east. And there was built an altar unto Yahuwah, and he called upon the name of Yahuwah. And Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south, and there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram was coming to Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her, and commended her before Pharaoh, and the women were taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abram well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen, and he asses, and men servant and maid servants, and she asses and camels. And Yahuwah plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why said thou, She is my sister? So I might have taken her unto me to be a wife. Now therefore, behold thy wife, and take her, and go thy way. Let me tell y'all something. Let me read this. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had. Let me tell you something. If the king of Egypt, or they call them pharaohs, if he knew that that was a sin, and he gave her back, when I sit and go through it slowly and I look at this, I'm like, oh, so he knew that that was wrong. And apparently he feared Yah because he didn't touch that woman. And I'm just like, how do we gloss over stuff like that they knew of who Yahuwah was? You know, although they clearly they worship multiple gods in Egypt, but they knew who the God of Abraham was, you know, because they feared him. They did all the shenanigans and stuff, but he didn't cross the line. He gave her back. He won't no smoke in that way from him. So it's just, it blows me when we sit and think about it. I was like, man, you know, you just think about different things that you don't really pay attention to when time passes, and it makes a whole lot of other things kind of come to light. I'm like, well, wait a minute, they did this, but clearly they had to have known. We don't see that they learned about Yahuwah, but clearly they understood, and they acted as such. Like, no, why did you lie to me? Did you know I could have slept with her? I could have taken your wife, and that would have been a great sin. I could have taken her to be my wife. Why did you lie to me? Why would you cause my house, my land to cause curses to come upon us by lying to us? And I believed you. I didn't know she was your wife for real. I was literally about to sleep with your wife, and my whole kingdom would have been done. Like, I'm just like, I'm like, wow, just to sit and think about that, and how he assimilated that when Yahuwah told him. Yahuwah clearly had to tell him that was his wife. He said, give her back. That's his wife. He immediately obeyed. It wasn't no, hey, let's go find out if this thing is you. No, take your wife, get all this stuff, and go on ahead and get on out of here, out of my land. Bro, you was about to cause my house to come tumbling down. So... All right, y'all. So with that being said, quick recap. It is Wednesday, November the 27th, 2019, day 4 of year 2. We just read Genesis 10, 11, and 12. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you came in late, I know I came in late. I do apologize. You all, I overslept. Forgive me. I didn't hear my clock go off. And then I don't even know that I said it. I don't know that I heard it. I don't even remember turning it off. So either I slept through it, oh, I turned it off, and I don't remember. So I think I slept through it. I just didn't set it. I really just don't remember, But I looked at the clock. I was like, holy crap. Jumped up, pulled myself together, and now we're here. All right, y'all. So with that being said, may Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and lift his countenance upon us and be gracious unto us and our households. And may he give us his shalom, his peace, and all that concerns us. All right, y'all. Be safe out there today. And I guess what? I'll see you in the morning. Peace.